In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the history of single-parent adoption and the troubles that they've faced throughout the years. Also, I'm going to show you the reasons that people say that singles aren't as well fit to raise a child as a married couple. I'm also going to show you the outcome of children who are adopted by a single parent. Adoption has been around in the United States since the mid-19th century. And surprisingly, singles have been allowed to adopt since the beginning of this law. Initially, women who adopted children or took in a child were looked at as spinsters. People didn't understand why some single woman would want to adopt a child. They just thought, why doesn't she just get married and have her own kid? So, according to the Adoption Story Project, singles were viewed as far less desirable parents than married couples. Men were considered less desirable than women, if they were even considered at all. This project also states that many state welfare officials made it difficult or impossible for agencies to place children in the care of single individuals. By mid-century, encouraged by the popularization of Freudian ideas and therapeutic approaches to child welfare, agency workers were determined to find normal families for parentless children. To be normal, households had to be headed by heterosexual married couples who were comfortable with the division of labor between non-working wives and breadwinning husbands. So this idea alone made it almost impossible for children to be placed with a single parent. People think that because there's only one parent in the household, that the children will end up that they're impoverished, or they'll have emotional issues, or they'll have learning issues, just because of a lack of a parent. Martha Osborne wrote an article called Single Parent Adoption in Women, stating the following: advocates note that the number of domestic and international adoptions have been steadily increasing over the last few decades. However, compared to their married counterparts, citing the process of international adoption as less lengthy and the likelihood of adopting a younger child much greater, single women are more likely to pursue international adoption over domestic adoption. With domestic adoption, birth mothers are more likely to select couples over singles for their babies, and age is of greater consideration with most agencies. When a birth mother is given a list of parent options for her child, if there was a list of 5 married couples and 1 or 2 singles, the singles would probably be brushed right off to the side because the mom thinks in her head, I'm single. If I was going to give my child a single parent life, I could just keep it. But with the cost of adoption alone, it proves that these singles are better off just financially, if nothing else. And a single parent has the same capacity to love a child as any other family does. Just because it's just one person doesn't mean that the child's going to be neglected or let go by the parent. Just because a couple is married does not mean they're a good couple or that they have the best interest for the child in mind. Children who get adopted by single parents are thought of as children who are adopted by single parents are thought of as children who will have emotional troubles, or just problems generally in their adjusting to their new lives. However, a study by Gross and Rosenthal shows a very different result. Gross and Rosenthal conducted a study that reports on the responses from parents in 3 Midwestern states who had finalized their adoption of a special needs child before 1988. The sample included 122 singles and 651 families. And researchers showed that 2-parent homes showed that compared to 2-parent homes, children that were adopted by single-parent families experienced fewer problems. In a way, it makes sense because statistically, 40 to 50% of marriages end in divorce. So for a child that has been passed around its entire life, the unstableness of an unstable marriage or a divorce can crush the child even further. So in conclusion, just because people are single doesn't mean that they can't take as good of care for a child as a married couple, or that they can't love a child the same way. Everyone has the same capacity to love. It's not a matter of that they can't handle it, or that they don't have the ability to. People just place this stigma towards them and don't realize all the things that I have stated.